So the first one is the pelvic sideline release, and that one really focuses on relaxing the pelvic floor, so it's a passive stretch. The second one is the sideline release with a diaphragm release and a few other things. And the next one sort of focuses on the psoas muscle and your hip flexors. 1.4 is what we call the forward leaning inversion, which I think there's quite a lot of pictures of that on social media, but that really helps to untwist the uterosacral ligament. So that's the one I mentioned that attaches to the back of the sacrum. It sort of envelopes the uterus and attaches on the other side of the sacrum. So when you're doing that forward leaning inversion, it's helping to untwist it so that it's making sure your uterus is aligned with your pelvis so that the baby can enter at the largest diameter. And then the other couple are the pelvic floor relaxer and the abdominal sifting. So the pelvic floor relaxer is pretty self-explanatory, but that balance in the pelvic floor muscles is really important as well, because if you think about the pelvic floor attaching to the front of the pelvis and the back of the pelvis and creating that hammock-like support, as your baby drops lower into the pelvis, if there is imbalance and say one side is sitting higher than the other in that hammock, it's going to mean the baby's head might become what we call asynclitic, or just tilts to one side. So you see that often if women are maybe 6 to 10 centimetres in their labour, and then maybe things slow down and stop progressing, and that can be an imbalance in the pelvic floor. So that's a really important part of that whole picture as well. And the abdominal sifting one, where we use material around the belly, it feels really nice too, really relaxing, and you get your partner to stand behind you and gently do these movements, little circles or little choo-choo trains. It helps relax the round ligaments at the front and the uterosacral ligament, and also the broad ligament, which is another one that goes around the front of the uterus and attaches to the have to engage. And some babies will do that spontaneously, and others will need the force of contractions to actually push them down and then to enter the pelvis. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I know I have to put in the exact term, but I know Ottie wasn't in an ideal position. He just wasn't getting quite enough pressure, and I had my waters broken, and then he turned straight away and came down. So it's interesting how
pelvis and attached to the uterus, which move up as the uterus grows. So if you've got misalignment